After a disappointing season that ended with a play-in tournament exit, the Dallas Mavericks are at a crossroads. In a move that stunned the NBA, they traded franchise cornerstone Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis during the regular season, signaling the end of an era. Now with their playoff hopes crushed and the future uncertain, it's time to rebuild the Mavericks and hopefully bring this team back to championship contention in NBA 2K25. Let's get right into this video. The Dallas Mavericks ended this season with a record of 39 wins and 43 losses, making them the 10th seed. And of course, we all know this team made some questionable moves this season, one of the biggest trades being Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, and the other underrated trade, but now it's pretty obvious they made a mistake, was trading away Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin. In the play-in tournament, the Mavericks went on to eliminate the Sacramento Kings, but then fell short to the Memphis Grizzlies, being eliminated themselves. And now we're going to go this offseason and hopefully upgrade this roster. But let's see who goes on to win the championship in the 2025 playoffs. And it's the OKC Thunder versus the New York Knicks, and the New York Knicks end up winning in 7, with Jalen Brunson winning Finals MVP. Also, please make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new for more 2K rebuilds. That helps out my channel a ton. And now let's get right into this video. So player retirements, Chris Paul is planning on retiring. We can go ahead and overturn Paul's retirement. I don't see him retiring this offseason. The same with Al Horford. And I'm going to overturn a few more retirements, and then I'll see you guys either at the NBA draft or at free agency. I'm not sure if we're going to have ourselves any draft lottery picks, but let's go ahead and check that out. Draft lottery, I did see our team here, so we're projected to get the 12th overall pick. Let's see where we land, and we stay at the 12th overall pick, which is not bad at all. We could possibly use the 12th overall pick in a trade, or go ahead and draft a young player to bring on our team that can help us win now. Anthony Davis is 32 years old, Kyrie Irving is 33 years old, so we don't have that big of a window to go out there and win ourselves a championship, because both of these players will be regressing pretty soon. So what I'm planning on doing is packaging our 12th overall pick and some players to go upgrade our roster. So let me see what type of trades we can come up with. I'll show you guys once I come up with that decision. And the first trade we're going to be pulling off is here with the New York Knicks, where we send them pick 12, Klay Thompson and PJ Washington for Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson. We don't really need Mitchell Robinson on our team. We already have 2 big men, so I would rather have someone like OG Anunoby or Josh Hart, but I'm not sure if this team would accept. Let's see if they're down to send us Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart for pick 12, Klay Thompson and PJ Washington. They want Daniel Gafford and Brandon Williams, and I'm actually fine with this trade. Mitchell Robinson can replace Daniel Gafford, but I would like Daniel Gafford, so if there's a way around this, let's see if there is. Let's see if we just include Brandon Williams in this trade. What they say, they want Daniel Gafford pretty badly. What if we throw in one more first round pick? And they still decline. Is there any players we can include in this trade? Max Christie I want to keep, but Caleb Martin will throw in this trade, and they're still going to be declining. Whoa, I thought they would definitely accept this trade, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. What if we include Jaden Hardy? And yeah, that's not happening. As much as I would like to keep Daniel Gafford on our team, if that means getting ourselves Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart, let's go ahead and pull off this trade. And we also do get ourselves a Mitchell Robinson, who can replace Daniel Gafford, at least defensively and rebounding wise. So let's go ahead and pull off that trade, and we got ourselves some better players than before. We got Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. And now I'm going to be moving some positions around. We're going to have Josh Hart either play the shooting guard position or small forward, and he goes up to an 87 overall at the small forward position and an 86 overall at the shooting guard position, and Mikal Bridges goes up to an 88 overall at the small forward position. So that's exactly what we're going to be rolling with. We have Mikal Bridges as our small forward and Josh Hart as our 2 guard. We will be keeping Jason Kidd as our head coach for now and see how things play out. This past season was not his fault at all, so of course we're not going to be firing him. But let's go ahead and simulate until team player options. We don't have ourselves that first round pick since we traded it. Let's see what team player options is showing us. So Kyrie Irving declines his player option and is now going to be a free agent. But we're going to pick up the team option on Derek Lively, and the same for Max Prosper. We could possibly use Prosper in our trade qualifying offers. Kessler we don't really need on this team. But what we do need is to bring back Kyrie Irving. He wants $54 million, which is a lot. Of course, we're going to be paying him that. And at the moment, there's no teams really offering him a real contract, so this should be pretty easy to bring back on our team. We'll go ahead and give him a 3-year contract worth around $140 million, and he will be accepting. We have him on a contract for 3 years, $146 million. We're going to be offering Marcus Smart a 2-year contract. He could be our backup point guard behind Kyrie Irving, and he could be an important piece coming off our bench. So let's see if he accepts this offer. We're giving him a 2-year, $10 million contract, and he does accept, which means we have Marcus Smart, the former Defensive Player of the Year player, as our backup point guard. There is some other positions I want to upgrade out on our team, one of them being the backup power forward position. I want to trade away Caleb Martin and get ourselves a different backup power forward, and the same for Najee Marshall. He's a good player in real life, but in 2K simulation he plays absolutely horrible. He's not a good 3-point shooter, and we need shooters around Anthony Davis. So let me see what we can get in return for both of those players. We're going to be pulling off this trade here with the Phoenix Suns, where we send them Caleb Martin and Najee Marshall for Nick Richards and Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen is a shooting guard, but we can move his position to small forward, where his overall should go up, and he's an elite 3-point shooter that could come off the bench and provide us with 3-point shooting. And Nick Richards will be flipping for a backup power forward. So let's go ahead and pull this trade off, and now we gotta go get ourselves a backup power forward. For the backup power forward position, I'm going to be targeting Keegan Murray from the Sacramento Kings. He's a good defender, good 3-point shooter, could be that perfect 6-man for our team. So let's see what the Sacramento Kings say for this trade, where we send them Nick Richards and Jaden Hardy for Keegan Murray. And they do decline. Is there any first rounders we can use? We can use one of our first round picks, well, 2 of our first round picks. Make that 3. So let's go ahead and try including 1 first round pick. And they still decide to decline. The Lakers first round pick, they decline. I don't really want to send 2 first round picks, but if that's what it takes, and that is what it took, so we got ourselves Keegan Murray. Here we are at the start of this season with our new and upgraded roster. We're going to be running a 9-man rotation for now, and this is going to be our starting lineup. We have Kyrie Irving, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively II. And off the bench, we're going to have Keegan Murray, Mitchell Robinson, Grayson Allen, and Max Christie. Running a 9-man rotation, let's see how things go. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week and see how we do, and we end up winning 2 of the 3 games. We lost the first game to the Philadelphia 76ers. Kyrie had 35, Mikal with 18, Josh Hart with 13 points and 13 rebounds. And then we beat the Pacers twice. Kyrie put up 28, AD with 23. And in the third game, Kyrie put up 43 points, Bridges had 22, and I think this season we're going to be one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. We have some really good rebounders on our team, one of them Josh Hart, Anthony Davis, Lively, so we have 3 really good rebounders in our starting 5. And off the bench we have Mitchell Robinson, who's a good rebounder, and Keegan Murray, who's also a decent rebounder. So now I'm going to be simulating until the end of this season, but of course if there's trades to be made, I'll stop at the trade deadline to show you guys. I forgot to mention we have a 4-star overall system proficiency under perimeter centric with Jason Kidd. Before I simulate any further, there's 2 players we're going to give a contract extension to. One of them is Mitchell Robinson. We're going to sign him for 2 years, $20 million, and he accepts. We're also going to be re-signing Derek Lively II. He wants quite a bit of money, but he does end up progressing into a really good player, so we're going to give him a 4-year contract, $23 million a year. We should be able to lower that down a little bit. Let's see. We could give him around $20 million, and he accepts. I stopped here at the trade deadline, and we're going to try pulling off a trade here for Patrick Williams and Ayo Dosunmu, where we send them Keegan Murray, Max Christie, and Max Prosper. There's a few reasons why I want to pull off this trade. One of the reasons is Keegan Murray has been horrible offensively, shooting 32% from the 3-point line, and the same with Max Christie. So upgrading both of those backup positions should help us get some more wins under our belt. So let's see what the Chicago Bulls say for this trade, and they accept just like that. Ayo Dosunmu is a player we had to include in the last trade to get ourselves Patrick Williams. I don't really want Ayo Dosunmu on our team, so I'm going to try trading him for Julian Strawther from the Denver Nuggets. We also have to take on Dario Saric's contract to make this work. Let's see what the Denver Nuggets say. They decline. They want Gary Payton II. They'll give us Jerron Holmes II. Let's go ahead and pull off that trade. We're able to extend Julian Strawther on a pretty team-friendly contract. He only wants around $8.5 million. Only is insane. Well, obviously in NBA terms, only $8.5 million is pretty good for a role player of Julian Strawther's level. He's an 80 overall, so let's go ahead and extend him for the next 2 seasons, and he accepts. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year with the Utah Jazz, RJ Barrett wins 6th Player, Wemby wins Defensive Player, Matej Bozelis wins Most Improved, Shea wins Clutch Player, our head coach, Jason Kidd wins Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive of the Year. As you guys can see, we won 68 games and only lost 14. We had an amazing season. Let's see if we get any All-NBA selections, and we do get Anthony Davis on All-NBA 3rd team. I'm surprised there's no Kyrie Irving here. He had an amazing season, but he's not here, which is totally alright. And Anthony Davis was also on All-Defensive 1st team, and that's going to be it for awards. We ended this season as the number 1 seed. Again, we won 68 games and lost only 14. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let me show you guys our player stats. So the leading scorer on our team was Kyrie Irving, averaging 25 points per game on crazy good efficiency. 53% from the field and 44% from the 3-point line. A 50-40-90 season. And then we had Anthony Davis averaging 22.5 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 1.5 steal. Bridges was amazing for us, averaging 17, 14 from Josh Hart, as well as 9 rebounds and 6 assists, 12.5 from Julian Strawther as our 6th man, 11 from Lively, 9 from Grayson Allen, and the rest of the team. But now we're going to be taking on the Portland Trail Blazers, who have themselves Dylan Harper, Shaedon Sharpe, Kamara Avdia, and Robert Williams III. They still have DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Donovan Clingan, but they're just coming off the bench. Same as Karis LeVert. This is a pretty stacked team, but they were playing team, so let's see what happens. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Bridges drops 34 points, AD had 30, Kyrie Irving with 24. Game number 2 also goes to us. Let's go. Kyrie drops 34 points, AD with 31, Bridges with 26. And we win game 3, and we go on to sweep the Portland Trail Blazers to advance to round number 2. Let's check out the player stats here for the 4 games we played. Anthony Davis is averaging 30 points per game, 28 from Kyrie, and 26 from Mikal Bridges. Let's go. Josh Hart is playing amazing, Lively, Julian Strawther. And now we're going to be taking on the San Antonio Spurs, who have Jeremiah Fears, Fox, Vassell, Sohan, Wemby. And off the bench, they have Castle, Johnson, Malachi Branham, and Klay Thompson. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Anthony Davis drops 32 points. Kyrie has a 28-point double-double. Josh Hart has a 21-point double-double. Game 2 is also a win for us. So is Game 3. And we go on to sweep the Spurs. Let's go. And now we're in the conference finals taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's check out the player stats. So Kyrie was averaging 29 points per game in the 4 games we played there in the second round. 22 from Mikal Bridges, 19 from AD, and 12 from Josh Hart. Now we're going to be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Leonard Miller, and Naz Reid. And what is going on with Anthony Edwards' face scan? Whoa, that is not Anthony Edwards. Okay. I'm not sure why he looks like that, but he does. I am using somebody's share scenario to be able to start today because the 2K simulation start today is under maintenance and it won't allow anyone to do start today. So I had to use a share scenario, and this guy is not Anthony Edwards. This is definitely a duplicate Anthony Edwards. He is not Anthony Edwards. He's running with Anthony Edwards' name, has a completely different face, so we should be able to beat this duplicate Anthony Edwards. Game number 1, he beats us. He drops 49 points on our head. Whoa. Game number 2, we do end up winning luckily. Kyrie drops 26, Lively with 22. Game 3, we also win. Let's go. Kyrie drops 29 points. Game 4 we win, and Game 5 we lose. We also lose Game 6, and it's going to a Game 7. This fake Anthony Edwards is pushing us to a Game 7. I can't get over Anthony Edwards' face scan. Like, why would you have to change his face scan? He looked better before than he does now. I don't know why the person who made this start today share scenario decided to mess up Anthony Edwards' face scan, but this is what he turned him into. Let's go to Game 7 and see if we can win this. We do have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead, but it's still a close game. We're up by quite a bit now, and we are starting to run away with it, and just like that, we're going to the NBA Finals. Anthony Davis wins Western Conference Finals MVP. Trae Young, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And just like that, we're in the NBA Finals, and we're going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. They were the number 6 seed, and they made it all the way to the NBA Finals. They have themselves Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Risachet, Jalen Johnson, and Okongwu. And off the bench, they have Champagnie, Terrence Mann, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Kobe Buffkin, and that's basically it. This team, let's see who they defeated. So first, they went ahead to beat the Boston Celtics, then the New York Knicks, and then the Cleveland Cavaliers. So clearly this team is pretty dangerous. They beat the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, and now they're trying to beat us. Let's see what happens here. Game 1, we do end up winning. Kyrie drops 25, 21 from Bridges. AD struggled offensively, but we still got that W. Game number 2 was also a win for us. AD drops 36, Lively with the double-double. Game 3, we're up 3-0 just like that. This is a lot easier than I expected. Anthony Davis drops 30 points, 24 from Bridges, 22 from Josh Hart. Are we going to sweep this team? We do not sweep them. They do beat us here in Game 4. But can we, gentlemen, sweep them? And that's exactly what we do. Anthony Davis goes on to win Finals MVP. And now that Luka trade isn't looking all that bad. Well, actually it still is. You could have had Luka for the next 10 to 15 years, whereas you only have Anthony Davis for the next few. But here are the player stats for the 20 games we played. So Kyrie Irving led the way, putting up 25 points per game, 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Anthony Davis was averaging a 24-point double-double, 24, 11, and 4, as well as 3 blocks and 1 steal. 22 from Mikal Bridges. He was playing absolutely amazing here in the playoffs. He averaged 22 points, 4 assists, 1 steal, and half a block, shooting 50, 40, 78. Josh Hart was amazing, so was Lively. Let's check out the NBA Finals stats. So AD led the way in the NBA Finals, averaging 25 a night. Kyrie was averaging 23 a night, shooting 62% from the field. That is insane. 22 points per game from Bridges, 16 from Lively, 13 from Josh Hart, Grayson Allen, 8.5, Julian Strother with 8. We are going to be running it back, seeing if we can go out there and win ourselves another championship. That would be amazing if we're able to do so. How many championships does that put Anthony Davis at? 2, I believe. Yes, 2 championships. And Kyrie Irving also has 2 championships. So let's see if we can go out there and win both of these players their 3rd championship. Legend LeBron James decides to retire with a 92 overall, and we're going to let him retire. He's 41 or 42 years old. Greg Popovich is trying to retire. He's pretty old now, and I believe he's been dealing with some health problems, so we're going to let him retire. Eric Spoelstra doesn't need to retire at all, and neither does our assistant head coach. Hall of Fame, LeBron James, Chris Paul. Jersey retirements, Chris Paul and LeBron James. Let's go ahead and reject everything here. I don't think we're going to be having any draft picks here. Let's see. And we do not. We may get ourselves, so we do end up with the 30th overall pick, and I believe that is going to be it. Let's double check that. So yeah, we end up with a 30th overall pick, the 2026 NBA draft. Our head coach Jason Kidd's contract has ran out, but of course we're going to try re-signing him this offseason. So let's go ahead and offer him a contract. There's 3 other teams offering him a contract at the moment. But hopefully he decides to come back on our team. And just in case he doesn't, we'll also offer Joe Mazzulla a contract and maybe one more head coach like Eric Blostra. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, but we'll offer all 3 head coaches a contract just in case Jason Kidd decides to decline that offer. And we will be getting Jason Kidd back as our head coach, which is absolutely amazing. Now let me see what we're going to be doing in the NBA draft. It's time for the NBA draft. Let's see who the top 3 picks will be. And the Charlotte Hornets have pick number 1, and they take AJ DeBonsa to pair up with Brendan Miller and LaMelo Ball. That's going to be an amazing big 3. The Pelicans have the 2nd overall pick, and they take Darren Peterson. The New York Knicks end up with the 3rd overall pick, and they take Cam Boozer. That's a really good pick for this team. And somehow the OKC Thunder always end up getting themselves some top 5 picks. They have the 4th overall pick and the 5th overall pick, and they take Elijah Arenas. Sorry, the 6th overall pick. It looks like they are going to be trading away that pick for Zach LaVine. Koa Pete goes number 6. But now let's sim to our pick and see who we will be selecting here. Hopefully there's some decent players here. So Malachi Morano, we can sign CD Gay. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Guy, or CD Guy. I believe that's how you say it. So we can get CD Guy. We can get Malachi Morano, Drake Powell. I think we may go ahead and select ourselves a backup center. And with the 30th overall pick, we went ahead and selected Malachi Morano as a backup center in case we decide to move on from Mitchell Robinson. He's a 7'1" big man. It's kind of like Derek Lively. They're both, I believe, 7'1", and yeah, they are, and they're both around the same weight as well. So Derek Lively can mentor him, hopefully make him into a good backup center. Team player options, we're going to pick up the team option on Deron Holmes II. He could possibly be a part of our rotation this season, depending on how he progresses. Qualifying offer, there's nothing there, but we do need to re-sign Mikal Bridges this offseason. He wants $37 million. He's the main player we need to bring back in order to keep our rotation intact. No other team is offering him a contract at this moment, so we should be able to sign him pretty easily, but let's see how much we can lower this down to. We should be able to pay him around $28 million a year, maybe even lower than that. So yeah, we should be able to get this down to around $26 million a year on a 2-year contract, which hopefully he accepts. And we are going to be getting Mikal Bridges on a 2-year $54 million contract. We can get ourselves Jose Alvarado for fairly cheap, and he's a really good 3-point shooter, amazing perimeter defender, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 1-year contract, which he should accept. And I also want to try getting ourselves a big man that can space the floor. Jay Huff would be that perfect player. He's a really good 3-point shooter, he's a good rim protector, he's 7'1", so hopefully both of these players accept, and we end up signing both of them. I wasn't planning on making any moves this offseason, but I am going to be targeting Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. There's a few reasons why we're targeting him, and the main reason is he's a good floor spacing big man. And as you guys know, Anthony Davis is our starting power forward, and we need a floor spacing big man beside him. Derek Lively has been amazing, but he can't shoot the 3 ball, and that leaves us with not many floor spacers in our starting lineup. So getting Miles Turner, he could be our starting center, and Derek Lively could be our backup center. Let's see what the Indiana Pacers say for this trade where we offer them Mitchell Robinson, Marcus Smart, and Jay Huff for Miles Turner, and they accept. Just like that, we got ourselves a new big man. And here we are at the start of this season with our 9-man rotation. Our starting lineup is going to include Kyrie Irving, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Anthony Davis, and Miles Turner at that starting center position. Off the bench, we have Julian Strawther, Derek Lively II, Grayson Allen, and Patrick Williams. We're going to be running a 9-man rotation. Miles Turner will be starting this season over Derek Lively II, but both of them will be playing around 24 minutes each. Let's simulate the first week and see how things go. We have 4 games and we end up winning all 4 of them. In game 1, we beat the Pelicans. Anthony Davis put up 31 points. He fouled out in 24 minutes, but still played amazing. And Miles Turner in his debut struggled offensively, but he had 5 blocks. Amazing. And then we beat the New York Knicks by 19 points, where Irving dropped 32-24 from AD. And Miles Turner had 9 points once again. Let's see how things play out. I'm excited with this new addition of getting ourselves a floor spacing big man to place beside Anthony Davis, and I think we're going to be a lot better this season than we were the previous. Now let's start simulating until the end of this season, but of course, if there's trades to be made, I'll stop at the trade deadline to show you guys. This past offseason, we traded for Miles Turner thinking he could be a floor spacing big man beside Anthony Davis, but that hasn't gone as we had hoped. As you guys can see, he's only shooting 32% from the 3-point line, and I don't think that's going to get any better. We had a chance in the past offseason to get ourselves Kristaps Porzingis, but I thought Miles Turner would be the better fit, but clearly that has not gone as we hoped. So we're going to try acquiring ourselves Kristaps Porzingis from the Boston Celtics. He's also a big man that can space the floor, good rim protector, can give us 15 to 20 points per game any given night. So let's see what the Boston Celtics say when we offer them Miles Turner and Patrick Williams for Kristaps Porzingis, and they do decline. Let's see if we give them some first rounders if they would accept. They still decline. 2 first rounders. We may not be getting ourselves Kristaps Porzingis. Okay, never mind. We got ourselves Porzingis. 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, Miles Turner and Patrick Williams got us a new big man. And just like that, we brought Kristaps Porzingis back to Dallas, and now he's going to be our starting center. He's an amazing 3-point shooter, good rim protector, good scorer, can even rebound pretty decently. Not the best rebounder, but could still rebound the ball, which is amazing. Now he can floor the space beside Anthony Davis, and I think this move is going to make our team a lot better. Now let's go on to the playoffs and see how we do. We're able to re-sign Anthony Davis, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a 1-year contract extension worth around $45 million, and he accepts. At the end of this season, Luka Doncic wins MVP, nearly averaging a 28 triple-double, 28-point triple-double with the Los Angeles Lakers. AJ DeBonsa wins Rookie of the Year. Bronny James, 6th player, he's averaging 16.5 points per game, 5 boards and 5.5 assists. That's amazing. I didn't know that Bronny James ends up becoming this good of a player in 2K simulation, but that's cool to see. Wemby wins Defensive Player. Jeremiah Fears wins Most Improved, averaging 20 points per game with the Brooklyn Nets. Paulo Banchero Clutch Player. Chris Finch Coach of the Year, and the Timberwolves win Executive. Now let's see if we get any All-NBA selections, and we do get Anthony Davis once again, this time on All-NBA 3rd team, no Kyrie Irving. And we also get Anthony Davis on All-Defensive 2nd team. Amazing. And this time around, we were the number 2 seed. The Minnesota Timberwolves were ahead of us by 2 games. But we ended the season winning 63 games and losing only 19. So nonetheless, we still had an amazing season. Before we start simulating, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. So the leading scorer on our team was Kyrie Irving, averaging 23 points per game, 3 rebounds and 5 assists, shooting 50, 40, 90. He played less minutes than the previous season, which is why he wasn't scoring as much, but he still played amazing. Then we had Anthony Davis averaging a 21-point double-double, 21 points, 11 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks on really good efficiency. 15 a night from Mikal Bridges, 15 from Porzingis. Porzingis was a perfect player we needed on our team to fit beside Anthony Davis. He's been spacing the floor, spacing perfectly beside AD, shooting 39% from the 3-point line. Josh Hart has been amazing, 13.5 from him, as well as 8.5 boards and 5.5 assists. 12 points per game from Derek Lively, 11 from Strawther, and the rest of the guys. Now we're going to be taking on the San Antonio Spurs here in round number 1, who have themselves Jeremiah Fears, Stephon Castle, Vassell, Keegan Murray, Wemby, Rob Williams, Gary Trent Jr., Keldon Johnson, and Peyton Watson. Let's see what happens. In my opinion, I think we should be able to beat this team, but let's see. Game 1, we do win. Kyrie Irving drops 24 points, Bridges with 21, and Porzingis with 16. Where's AD? Okay, AD struggled big time, shooting only 4 of 14. Game number 2 is also a win for us, so is game 3, and we sweep the San Antonio Spurs to advance to round number 2. Let's see how our team played. So Kyrie led the way offensively with 22 points per game, 21 from AD, 19 from Bridges, and 17.5 from Porzingis. He's shooting 46% from the three-point line. But now we're going to be taking on the number 6 seed, the OKC Thunder, who have Vucevic as their starting center. They also got themselves Zach LaVine as their shooting guard. They have Shea, LaVine, J-Dub, Chet, and Nikola Vucevic, and this is what their bench will be looking like. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1, we end up winning with Kyrie dropping 32 points, Porzingis 21, and Anthony Davis with 20. Game number 2 is a loss for us. J-Dub beat us here, 21 from him, 20 from Vooch, but AD played amazing that game. Sadly, we still ended up falling short. Game 3, we do end up winning, thankfully. Kyrie drops 31, AD also drops 31, and 14 rebounds. Game number 4, we win, and we beat the OKC Thunder in 5. Let's go. Let's check out the player stats for the quarterfinals, well, basically the second round. We played a total of 5 games, and Kyrie Irving led the way offensively, putting up 29 points per game and 7 assists, 26 from AD, and 20 from Kristaps Porzingis. And now we're in the conference finals. We're going to be taking on the number 1 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have themselves Rob Dillingham, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Leonard Miller, and Naz Reid. Off the bench, they have Rudy Gobert, Malik Monk, Caspers, and Charles Bassey. So this team is obviously good. They were the number 1 seed, but we beat them last playoffs, so I think we could do that once again. Let's see what happens. Game number 1, we do end up losing. Anthony Edwards drops 29 points on us. Irving had 26. Julian Strawther had 25 in 18 minutes. But sadly, we lost. Game 2, we do end up winning. Let's go. Irving drops 23 points, 21 from Josh Hart. Game 3, we also lose. And this is where we should be coming up with the defensive coach game plan. Our defense has not been enough to stop Anthony Edwards. And now I think I'm going to put Mikal Bridges on him to hopefully slow him down. Alrighty, I came up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if that's going to help us here win this game and tie up the series. We do have home court advantage for this game, and so far they have the lead, but we take it right back and we are going to be tying up the series. We end up beating them by 21 points. Kyrie dropped 25, 23 from Bridges, 21-point double-double from Anthony Davis. I also adjusted some of our player shot tendency like Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. They're all the way up to a 99 shot tendency, and I also hired Porzingis. How was our defense on Anthony Edwards? Our defense was amazing. We held Anthony Edwards to 5 of 15 shooting. So clearly Mikal Bridges played really good defense on him. Hopefully he can keep this up for the rest of this series. Game number 5, we don't have home court advantage for this game, but we start off really strong, and it looks like we are, whoa. I was about to say we are going to win, and we almost blew that lead, and we barely beat them by 2 points. Alright. Mikal Bridges had 22 points, Kyrie had 18, he did struggle offensively, shooting 7 of 20. Josh Hart had 18, Anthony Davis was 17. And how was our defense? We've been playing really good defense on Anthony Edwards. Shout out to Mikal Bridges, holding him first the last game to 5 of 15, and now to 4 of 15. 4 of 14. Let's see what happens here in game 6. We will have home court advantage. If we win this, we advance to the NBA Finals, and that's exactly what's going to be happening. We held them to 74 points. Amazing. Kyrie Irving dropped 32 points. Anthony Davis dropped 29 points and 13 rebounds. Porzingis had an 18-point double-double. We held Anthony Edwards to 9 of 22 shooting, and Naz Reid to 5 of 15. Anthony Davis goes on to win Finals MVP, well, Western Conference Finals MVP. He was shooting the ball horrible. 40% from the field is pretty bad for Anthony Davis. LaMelo Ball wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That means we're going to be taking on the Charlotte Hornets, who have themselves, how many first overall picks is that? So they got themselves AJ DeBonsa and Ace Bailey. Their starting lineup is LaMelo Ball, Trey Mann, Ace Bailey, AJ DeBonsa, De'Aaron Sharp. They also have themselves DeJounte Murray coming off the bench as their sixth man, Tijon Solon, Johnny Davis, and Ben Simmons. It looks like they traded away Brandon Miller, but this team is still really good. Luckily, Ace Bailey is still young, and so is AJ DeBonsa. He's in his rookie season. Otherwise, he probably would have been up to like a 90 overall if we gave him another season or two. But I think we can beat this team. They're really young. Game 1, we do end up losing though. LaMelo dropped 20 points on our head. DeBonsa dropped 19. Bailey had a 16-point double-double. Game 2, we end up winning. Kyrie drops 32 points, 80 with 31, and Porzingis with 26. So clearly, our playoff experience is a lot better than theirs. We beat them by nearly 60 points. Now let's see what happens here in game number 3, which we also win. Josh Hart dropped 26 points, Anthony Davis had 23, and Kyrie had 20. Game 4, we do end up losing game 4. We win game 5, and we beat them in 6 to go on to win ourselves a back-to-back championship, with Anthony Davis winning Finals MVP, averaging 27 points per game, 9 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And before I end off this video, let me show you guys the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 21 games, and our leading scorer was Kyrie Irving, averaging 25 points per game, 3.5 boards, 6.5 assists, shooting 50, 40, 90. Then we had Anthony Davis averaging 24 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1.5 block. Amazing defense and even better offense. 18 a night from Porzingis, the best big man we could have asked for. Played absolutely amazing, shooting 45% from the 3-point line. Mikal Bridges, amazing role player, averaging 16 a night, 12.5 from Josh Hart. Now let's check out the NBA final stats. The leading scorer was Anthony Davis with 27 points per game. Right behind him was Kyrie Irving, putting up 24 points per game. 17 a night from Porzingis, 15 from Josh Hart, 12.5 from Mikal Bridges. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new for more 2K rebuilds. Also comment down below what rebuild you guys would like to see next. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.